Today we're riding out to a little gem of a neighborhood in St. Petersburg. It's called Allendale. Now, it doesn't get talked about as much as some of our trendier neighborhoods like Old Southeast, Old Northeast, or Snell Isle. But if you're thinking about moving to St. Pete, you really should give it a look. Now, there are two houses we're going to check out. The first is a fixer-upper at 1038 39th Ave, listed at $989,000, and it's a 3-2 with 2,300 square feet, and it was built in 1936 by the founder of the neighborhood, Cade Allen. The second house is listed at $2.25 million and is nearly 4,000 square feet on a third of an acre. Now, this one is completely renovated, and Allendale is about 2 miles north of downtown, and it's in one of the highest spots in all of St. Pete, so flooding is not an issue here. And it really is a beautiful neighborhood. So let's take a ride and see what we find. And as we get closer to the neighborhood, you can see, I don't know if it's going to pick it up on the camera, but it's really, this is what passes for a hill here in Florida, or at least in St. Pete. Goes up about 20 feet from 4th Street, which is going to make all the difference, to be honest, when it comes to being in a flood zone. So here we are at 1038 39th Ave, and it is listed for $989,000, and it's a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath with a 2,300 square feet, priced at $423 a square foot. The exterior looks beautiful. However, the owner is requesting either a construction loan or cash only, which would indicate there might be some other issues with it that may make it difficult to get financing. But as I mentioned before, there's no flood insurance here. And this was a house that was actually built in 1936 by the founder of Allendale, a man by the name of Cade Allen. And what's interesting about this house, whenever you see the taxes that are out of whack for the price of the house, the taxes are $3,800. That usually means that the owner has been here for a long time. And actually now I'm seeing it in the description that it's had the same owner for 56 years. So there's a lot of the original stuff in there. Just flipping through the pictures, it looks like the kitchen was remodeled at some point, but is clearly dated. It's these great cathedral ceilings with the exposed wood beams. Really interesting architecture. Obviously, this is a custom house, top to bottom, that may have over the years been sort of, I don't know what the phrase would be, decustomized with some more, off-the-shelf things. Especially looking at that kitchen, it doesn't look like it fits the house. Honestly, it looks like just a kitchen from the 70s, maybe, with Formica countertops and the dark wood cabinets and stuff. So that's obviously not going to be the reason why I don't think that the owner would request a cash only or construction loan. And maybe we'll dig into it a little bit more to see if there's some structural issues. But from the outside, the house looks absolutely gorgeous. It looks perfect from the outside, and it looks like they just had a nice little price reduction to the tune of $111,000. So they weren't getting any action at that price over $1 million. But if you look at the numbers here, this is a 2,500 2,300 square foot house at $423 a square foot, which really would put it below most neighborhoods. That will get you sort of a cookie cutter house, but certainly not a custom house that was built by the founder of the neighborhood. Obviously, before anyone makes an offer on this, they'd want to get a contractor in, along with an inspector, to see the extent of the work that might need to be done. But if you're talking about some cosmetic stuff, some bathroom updates, and a new kitchen, even if you put 150 or $200,000 into this house, you'd still be in pretty good shape. So an absolutely beautiful house. Let's take a ride out to see the other house, which just had a $250,000 price drop. It's priced at $2.25 million. That one's at 1250 Monticello, and it's a 4.5 with almost 4,000 square feet. So this will be a good comparison between the two. Obviously, this one that we're looking at right now is only 2,300 square feet, so it's quite a bit smaller. But this house on Monticello is at $570 per square foot, which is a little bit above the neighborhood average. So let's take a ride out and get a feel for the neighborhood a little bit. The houses are just absolutely stunning in here. I'd say most of them are somewhere between 2,500 and 5,000 square feet. And, there's some work being done on a few of them. I'm not sure what's going on right there. But this is a fully mature neighborhood with just absolutely stunning houses. A lot of Mediterranean style. See some of the brush from the hurricane a couple of months back still hasn't been picked up yet. There's some new construction over here on the right. Alright, so I'm going to do a U-turn so we can get a better look at this house at 1250 Monticello. So this is a 3,946 square foot, 5-bedroom, 4.5 bath house, listed at $2.25 million with a recent price drop of $250,000. Now this house sits on a a third of an acre, and it's priced at $570 per square foot, which, check the neighborhood stats, I think is going to be a little bit high. So yeah, we see that the average price per square foot in this neighborhood is $417, and that's not going to be too misleading. In other words, you're not going to have, there's not such a large variation of the houses in here. They're mostly pretty nice. There's very little renovation activity. There's not a bunch of small houses dotted in with these larger houses. Most of them are, around 2,000 square feet or above. I mean, a lot of them are quite a bit bigger than that. I mean, just looking through the pictures of this house, though, this is a fairly recent renovation, and it is absolutely picture perfect. Beautiful big kitchen. Looks like a lot of nice millwork, renovated bathrooms. I mean, this house doesn't need a thing, really. I mean, I suppose if you wanted to put a pool in the backyard, that would be the one thing that you could do. So this is an absolutely beautiful house, almost 4,000 square feet, priced at $2.25 million. And looking at the history, this house sold for $1.9 million 2 years ago, and then it sold in 2020 for $867, which would have been pre-renovation. So it sold in 2020, was renovated, and then sold for 1.9. And I mean, you can see the owner tried to get 2.5, and now we're down to 2.25. So it hasn't appreciated that much in the last 2 years. And some of the other stats about Allendale, obviously we talked about there is no issue with the flood situation here, but crime score 4 out of 10, which is nice. I mean, you're kind of tucked away. You're not getting a lot of through traffic here. I've been sitting here now for 5 minutes, and I've driven through the neighborhood. For the last 15 or 20 minutes, I haven't seen a car. Saw a couple of people walking their dogs. So this is not really a cut-through neighborhood. You're not getting people coming through. So let's drive through the streets a little bit more. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the cruise through Allendale. As always, I am a realtor here in St. Pete. If you are looking to relocate to Florida, especially Pinellas County, St. Pete, Clearwater, out to the beaches, shoot me a text, give me a call, send me an email. I'd love to help you out. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.